Hello, it's me, Carlos SG. Meow meow. And tonight we're gonna be watching X-Men 97 season 2, episode 9, and then right after that we'll talk about our thoughts about the whole season of season 2. But how is everyone doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Nice. Doing good. Just chillaxing and all that.
That is good. That is good.
Alright, when we get everything all set up, let's see. Watching Cosme. Alright, that's done. How did your stream go earlier, Trickster?
Pretty all right. Ran into a bit of a snag while I was working on the work, but I eventually figured it out.
Nice. I'm glad. Alright, everything's all set. Good. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Here we are. Alright, the episode we'll be watching is episode 9, Survival of the Fittest.
Nice.
So, a showdown, huh?
Seems like it.
Yeah. So, on the last episode, the dead man's hand, we saw Gambit returned alive, but corrupted by a force. Um, kept it like kidnapped Rogue, and then he went. Then Gambit went back home.
And tried to marry her, right?
No, he wasn't really trying to marry her. He was so I'll just try my number really quick. He went back home and then summons the external because the external was an ex-girlfriend of Apocalypse.
Yeah,
Apparently,
that's wild.
Candra, um, Apocalypse felt in love with Candra, gave some of her powers, making her the external, but she abandoned him as revenge for what he did to her city. So, Gamma summons the external, kills her, and gives her power to Rogue.
Yeah.
In that order. Uh, but we we learned with the help with the interference of Xavier, um, enters Gambit's mind to find Apocalypse unconsciousness has control of Gambit's body, but he's easily overpowered by Apocalypse. Then Rogue enters Gambit's mind, helps him take back control for Apocalypse, um, and stuff. And but Cable attempts to take out or kill and take unconscious Gambit, but Jubilee and Sunspot leave with the X-Men. So they were unsuccessful bringing Gambit back. Um, but um, Cooper, the lady, proposes an alliance between the X-Force and the X-Factor. So this is not going to be good for the X-Men.
Nope. That's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be a war.
Yeah, and so they're not only fighting to get Gambit back from Apocalypse, now they have to deal with Miss Cooper and the alliance between the X Force and the X Factor. So all three fronts, right in front of them.
Yeah.
Not only to mention the lost Cerebro. So, could this be what Apocalypse was saying in earlier episodes? The 1990s, when the X-Men was most vulnerable. Is this the moment Apocalypse is talking about?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Well, I guess we'll have to wait. I guess we have to wait to see for ourselves.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Now, before we begin, uh, I'm gonna, get you. Well, I'm gonna get a snack real quick, but get snacks, go to the restroom, and anything like that, and we'll start the episode 9, the last episode, and stuff. So, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll be BRB.
Alrighty.
Alright, I am back.
Yay! Hector!
Yay! And it's gonna wait for Trickster to come back, and we'll start the episode. So how are they gonna bring Gambit back from the clutches of apocalypse?
It's gonna be tough, man. I hope the script writers are on their side.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Make sure my laptop is cool, because I can't have it overheat. I wonder what kind of snack he's getting. Trickster, I mean.
Must be a beef
I didn't know you were back.
Wellington. It would take you for
What?
oh. I was like,
Hello.
must be a beef Wellington the way he was taking forever. Jesus.
You're getting something, Trickster? A snack?
Yeah, I got a snack. I didn't know you were back.
Yeah, I was here. I was just waiting for you.
I
A
was
little
here. I'm
early. We got
sorry.
to take a little nap.
But yeah, I got a snack.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, since everyone has their snacks and stuff, we're gonna watch X-Men '97 Season 2, Episode 9, Survival of the Fittest.
The crowd goes wild.
Just
Woo!
click on the link that is pinned in the chat, and you can watch the episode with us on Cosme. And without further ado, let's watch Episode 9, Survival of the Fittest.
Previously on X-Men.
So much pain, my children. So much death. How lies your mother abandoning you? You will always be a monster. The ones you care for will be your undoing. Professor, I fear there is more to this darkness than we have yet to understand. I must strike them at their most vulnerable, the 1990s.
Apocalypse resurrected a horseman from the grave.
Death is evolution.
I get it. Now,
One you share. Some things may be deeper than the skin. Some will find system. We have things our shared abilities.
The Assassin's Guild calls upon its covenant with the external.
Sorry. Gotta cut this game short. You ready?
ready and in madness. In the battlefield of the mind, my will shall prevail.
You must be strong, Nathan,
Dig deep and be our son.
to do what they cannot.
Apocalypse is in there, and it's my destiny to kill it.
Would it really be mercy? To spare the monster who would let you suffer? Or is mercy found in ending you and sparing us instead? Apocalypse will not contain inside Remy's consciousness much longer. If we do not move quickly, he will take over for good.
If you think you're taking us in, you're in for a surprise.
Hey, Chief.
What do you say to both of us getting what we want?
Recap and then the classic intro. That's interesting. Different intro a little bit. The poison side was the X Factor and the X Force.
Yeah.
Cable says that if Camate has to die, what the? I don't think the X-Men are gonna let that happen, especially with Rogue.
Definitely not.
I was like seeing shit back in the depths of the water of the ocean. I haven't seen in the ship since the original series.
Wow.
With the last tango of the Apocalypse, the original series.
Hooray.
Yay! Beast is very upset the ship sank, and thanks to the uh, rebooting the motherboard, he saved ship. She's going inside, Rogue.
Oh shit.
X Factor's pushing. Oh, this is not gonna go good at all.
Oh boy.
They expel the shield's god. Is that a sentinel?
Oh
That
yep.
their the X Force and X Factors are piloting. Super Repo's reach. He can even sense. Professor can even sense Rogue. What the heck?
Oh, the Celestial. Damn.
Destroyed the jewel.
Wow.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Sacrifice her life for his to save Gambit.
Of course.
Hey, Kronos, always remember berries. The the bell. Yes. Hey, y'all. Definitely.
Yo.
Rogue.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, Gambit is about to wake up. Aw, man, here comes the human wrecking ball. Screeching woman. So, what's with the new movie? Oh, no, this is like the TV series. This is the last episode. Adventures at all? No, this is
X-Men.
Marvel, X-Men. Oh no, Cable's going in there, but I don't think his parents are. I think his parents are going to stop him. Psylocke and Archangel against Wolverine. I could have been X-Men? Possibly. Hey, it's Forge! And
Nice.
Wolverine. Not Forge, damn it, what's his name? Morph!
Morph, yeah.
Cyclops tried to probe Wolverine's mind, and he said, nice try. Hey, Lady B!
Yo.
Come on, Jubilee! Uh oh, there goes the X-Jet. And there goes his jet, too! Havoc's. Havoc. Yeah, Havoc. Oh no, the X-Jet survived. Siren. Wolfsbane. Multiplier.
Gambit,
Hey, it's
never
Gambit!
fold.
Is it Gambit or Apocalypse?
Oh, let's get. Oh. Uh-oh.
Looks like, sounds like Gambit.
Damn!
Gable, old adult, keep abandoning his parents.
Uh-oh. Damn!
Oh, that goes to billing. Uh oh, Cable.
I've come to kill. Damn.
Dang. Cable says Professor X says no, and Cable says sorry, and shoots Gambit. Uh oh,
Nope.
there's Apocalypse.
Oh shit, that looks cool. Whoa.
Fools, taking Gambit out. Just give Apocalypse the control of Gambit's body.
Whoa.
With this, with the wave of his weapon, just took out everyone out, except for Professor X. Uh oh.
Uh-oh.
Everyone's under Apocalypse control except for the Professor. Oh no. Rogue? Rogue. She looks so beautiful. Cable's in shock. Everyone's in shock. Rogue? What's Rogue doing? Destroying Apocalypse soul? Oh,
Oh.
containing it in a jewel. Thank you for the follow, Porky Cookie Dough. On Rumble.
Yay.
Aww, Gambit and Rogue. And they able to kiss each other?
Probably because of the celestial energy.
but is now spent up.
Oh shit! No.
Nightcrawler went into the.
Why? No.
Nightcrawler is sacrificing himself.
Not Nightcrawler, please, no. God damn it. Why?
Yes, this. What is it called? The celestial asked him why he's so certain, and Nightcrawler says, "Because I have faith." God dang it!
We barely had enough time with Nightcrawler. Why did he sacrifice himself? This is some
Well,
bull!
we didn't see him. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh, that was Mystique the whole time. Oh, interesting.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Wild.
I can't believe what I saw. So Mystique was disguising herself as uh oh frick, I always forget her name. Cooper. Mrs. Cooper, and she shoots her and resumes her identity. And worst of all, Creighton Creed is being elected as president.
Unbelievable.
God dang. You there, you there, Trickster?
You're muted.
Yeah, he's muted.
Sorry about that. My mom came in.
Oh,
very
that's
good.
okay. So, Mystique took out Miss Cooper, uh, disguising as Miss Cooper, took out Miss Cooper, and worst of all, Graydon Creed is going to be elected president.
That's
This is
wild.
That is not good. That is not good. I guess we'll have to wait and see what else happens in season 3, which has been greenlit.
Hey.
I also think let me double check here. Um, yes, a third and a fourth season are currently in development and being and been has been planned to released yearly following the second season. Yearly. So I'm guessing by sometime next year we'll get the season 3, hopefully, instead of waiting 2 years. Um, but I guess we'll have to wait and see about that. But I'm excited for season 3 to come out, for sure. Okay, let's uh, what Lady Lisa's back. I've here. Okay, so couldn't have been the screenshot open. Uh, okay. Um, so let's talk about the last episode. So it was jam packed. Seeing the X Force and the X Factor combine their forces to combat the X Men to take out Gambit, who is being taken over by Apocalypse, was crazy, and was even more crazy. Um, that I like was seeing Rogue uh, confront the celestial being to help Gambit, which that was pretty cool as well. And she looked very beautiful in a celestial garb and stuff like that. And Apocalypse spirit was trapped inside a crystal that was given to Cable. Uh, yeah, there was a lot going on in this episode. I also liked how they kind of changed the classic intro a bit. The opposing team was Magneto, but now you have the X Factor and um uh, oh shit yeah, the X Force and the opposing side, and I like the fact that Miss Cooper adjusts her glasses when Professor Xavier tried to probe her mind. just adjusts her glasses. That's it. Uh, uh, I liked all of that. That was pretty cool. Ignore that one LOL word vomit. Oh, okay. All right, lady. What I didn't. So that's one of my likes. What I didn't like was Nightcrawler seemingly sacrificing himself for a rogue for in front of the social being, and Beast is holding Nightcrawler's Bible, and I didn't like that. Trickster. Before I get to you, I really thought this episode was pretty good, and it didn't lift on a cliffhanger or anything like that. Well, kind of did, but it wasn't like oh, I hate this. I hate this because I hate this cliffhanger. It was more like I'm excited to see what happens next. In terms of like Mystique taking out Miss Cooper and disguised as her, and that Creighton Creed is elected as president. Um, Looking forward to what happens next in season 3. Trickster, what are your thoughts?
Dude, that big fight was super cool. I loved it. Um, there was a lot of characters that they had to keep track of, which
Mm-hmm.
is hard to do in a show, especially in
Yeah,
a
it
big fight
does.
like this. Some of them are fighting in the air, some of them are fighting in the building, uh, and they're in different floors. It's insane, but they did it pretty well. I liked it. Um, the only thing that I didn't like personally was that my favorite character is dead.
Well, we didn't really see him die. That's the thing. It was just left floating there. So it hasn't really been confirmed.
I don't like the implication though.
I don't either. Hey, Jamie Lynn. I haven't drank that much. Of course not. Raquel, hey, Jamie. Yeah, I did not like that. I hope Nightcrawler is still around, but we won't know until season 3 comes out.
This is
Um,
true.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to say?
Oh, excuse me. No. Yeah, I liked it. Pretty much all of the episode. It was really good. A good conclusion to all that, I guess. It felt.
Nice.
I mean, I could say this about any of the episodes, but it felt kind of a tiny bit rushed, a tiny bit. But
A tiny bit.
it's just a small critique, because that's what every episode kind of feels like. So it's fine.
Right. So we're gonna take a small little, just a 5-minute break, and we'll um, give our thoughts of the rest of the season. So I'm gonna get a refreshment, some water because I'm thirsty. And we'll be right back.
Okie
Alrighty, I am back. My throat has been quenched. Um, let's see. Cheers to all. Dark rum is evil. Water hydrates. I forgot to spank the like button. Echo, echo. I don't. No, no one's echoing. For my, I can tell. I don't have anything open either that would do that. So I don't. It must be on your end. Um, Kronos. Rum is like alcohol. Mm. Alright, so okay, we're gonna talk about what we thought about the season as a whole. I did forgot to mention this. It was pretty cool to see Ship again. Last in the original season, or the original show of X-Men animated series, we after the last tango with Apocalypse, Ship pretty much sank, and Hank, aka Beast, was really upset about it. It was really good to see in this episode that Beast, aka Hank, was reunited with Ship, and and the ship survived. Um, that was very touching to see. Wouldn't you agree, Trister?
Heck yeah, that was really
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Very awesome. All right. as a season as a whole, um, okay, let's talk about I would say the first two episodes. Um, yeah, the first two episodes. Days of the past, future, and the force to be reckoned with. Um, I think seeing them like you know uh seeing familiar faces that we haven't seen for a while, like you know um and stuff like that, like Abin Sur, aka Apocalypse. Seeing that uh, it was Forge, Wolverine, Storm. Yeah, no, no. Forge and Bishop were left in the present. Same with Jubilee and Sunspot. Forge goes back, into the time machine. Um, and then Forge finds Wolverine, Storm, Morph, Cyclops, and Jean Grey in 3960 AD. Am I right about that?
Um, I think so. That sounds about right.
Yeah. And the other half, Professor X, Magneto, Beast, and Rogue and Nightcrawler went into the past of Egypt in 3000 BC. So past, future, and past. To stop apocalypse. So in the future, one half of the X Men were trying to stop apocalypse. The other half in ancient Egypt was stopping to atmosphere becoming apocalypse. Uh, I loved seeing the backstory of Apocalypse more because we didn't really get to see that in the original animated series. I don't think, um, to my recollection. Um, and it was good to see like new characters like Mother Ascani. I'm not really familiar with her um that much. Um, seeing familiar faces like Cable and Psylocke and Archangel was good to see. Um, the X Factor, Havoc, Polaris, Multi Man, Strong Guy, and Wolfsbane. Um, and we did see a little bit of Emma Frost. I'm disappointed that we didn't really get to see her more in season two. I would like to see her more because she is integrated with the X Men um in terms of like Cyclops.
Yeah.
Um and then we see like a young Nathan and stuff like getting used to his like new arm, his mechanical arm, um and all that. Uh I would say like both of the I would say the first episode was good because it pretty much continues where we left off on season one. What do you, yeah, what do you agree?
Yeah. Because we knew that they got flung to the past, at least half of them. And the first episode immediately followed up on that with the future first, and then the past.
Yeah, the future first. Um, yeah, so that was like the first episode. So the second episode was like pretty much like the X Factor and Jubilee and Sunspot like being with Cable and Archangel and Psylocke, and the we'll just say Cable pretty much took down one of the Horsemen for good, despite Jubilee's objections, because it wasn't the X-Men way to do things.
Yeah.
This was pretty jarring for seeing Cable do that. Yeah, there was Apocalypse Horseman War. Yeah, War. Like, how do you like? I thought the pacing was a little for the 2 episodes. I thought there was a little bit just a smidge fast in this between these 2 episodes. Um, because like you were going back. Not only you were going back to not only to you're focusing on the present, but you're also focusing on the future at the same time, back to back, and kind of like I could keep up with it, but I it wasn't to the point like it was stable. I kind of wish it was like more of a stable way going back to the present and future that wasn't so that a bit not that a bit jarring. What do you think?
Yes. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't too jarring. They did try to their best to keep things good and paced. Um, like I said, I do feel like the overall story kind of got a little bit rushed, but the way they explained like the time travel and stuff, I feel like we were in the past and the future, respectively, in a good amount of time.
Well, with the like, I'm disappointed we didn't get to see like more of the in terms of the future and the new characters like Mother Ascani. I'd like to see more of that in the future based kind of thing. Same with the ancient Egypt. We don't really we did see some of the background of Apocalypse, but not much of his surroundings. We didn't really see the surroundings of how Egypt was with Apocalypse. Somewhat, but not totally though. Um, and I didn't realize that that guy was Cain the Conqueror in disguise as the Pharaoh. That was a
Yeah, that was pretty
shock.
crazy.
I mostly recognize him with his blue face.
Yeah.
So that was a bit surprising for me. I would like to see more of like the backstory of Egypt. That when Ebn Sur was around, and before like how like in terms of like childhood to adulthood, not when it became like apocalypse. I mean, I would like to see more of that. Um, in my opinion,
Yeah.
like why did his mother abandon him? But like how did like Cain the Conqueror um became pharaoh in that timeline in ancient Egypt? Like that stuff like that. How did Apocalypse conquer the distant future and Mother Ascani's timeline? And she has strange powers to see the past. What other powers does she have besides seeing the past?
Yeah.
Does she also see the future as well?
Might maybe because she can apparently she can put people in different timelines as well.
She's also has powers of like fire as well, from what I can see. So it's rather befuddle what kind of mutant powers she has.
Yeah, I think we have to look that up pretty much.
Yeah. But I thought the first two episodes we reconnect with the X Men for the last time we saw them from season one, and then we see half the X Men going to the future, distant future, and other half into the distant past, ancient Egypt. I don't think that's the thing. I don't really think in the future they specifically say where in the distant future.
Hmm.
We know we went back into ancient Egypt, but in the distant future, it didn't really confirm exactly where.
Yeah, I think it was just a arbitrary, ugh, arbitrary timeline. I guess I don't know.
Let's see if I can find this.
Oh, excuse me.
It took place in the Atlantic Basin, a desolate area of a global wasteland.
Oh,
The Elastic Basin. Let's see, the
huh.
Elastic Basin would be. Let's see. So the Atlantic Basin is pretty much our Atlantic Ocean, pretty much. So
Mm.
pretty much is like in the 40th century, Apocalypse's devastating techno-organic regime has completely reshaped Earth's geography. The ocean's waters are entirely gone, turning massive empty basin where the Atlantic Ocean used to sit in the vast desert wasteland. So pretty much saying that the Atlantic Ocean is now a desert wasteland called the Atlantic Basin. Yikes.
Mm. I see. I see. That's kind of cool.
I did not know that. I didn't really think they really touched upon it in the episode, did they?
No, I don't think so.
No. So, yeah, it seems like Apocalypse devastating um, powers, really had like really disaster effects in the Earth's ocean and geography, the techno-organic stuff. Um, it's just like devastating the planet. Apparently, that's not good. Um, yeah. So episode two, yeah. So episode one, great to reconnect with the X Men we last saw them in season one. Days in the Future Past. A force to be reckoned with. Uh, you know, Jubilee and Sunspot are trying to hold the fort because the rest of the X Men are like transported to the distant future and distant past. Um, the Rise of Apocalypse. Um, it was good to see ancient Egypt, seeing Abin Sur before he became known as Apocalypse. Uh, and uh, Professor X, Beast, Rogue, and Nightcrawler and Magneto are trying to make sure that Evansur doesn't become Apocalypse. Same with episode uh, 4, Rise of Apocalypse Part 2. Um, but the the part of the X-Men in the past didn't want to change the past too much because it had consequences in the present timeline. Um, but they went into side of ship. Evansur saw his destiny as becoming Apocalypse. Pretty much wiped out the X team, except for Professor Xavier, and pretty much Apocalypse pretty much killed Magneto, and we pretty much saw that. We saw and it was revealed to us that King the Conqueror was Pharaoh and left somewhere, maybe his own timeline. I'm guessing. Um, and back in the present. So they went back. So they went Rex. The X-Men went back to the present with the help of Bishop. And Wolverine. Um, was back in the 1990s. Receives a file of the Weapon X program from Captain America and Black Widow, saying he's going to assemble a team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that team in episode 5 was Weapon X lies in DVDs. I like how they mentioned that. But I thought like the Rise of Apocalypse Part 1 and Part 2 were evenly paced. I would say the struggle of like seeing the X-Men trying their best not to have Evansur becoming Apocalypse. The strain of it was really, I would say, tense. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Pretty tense.
Yeah, tense. To like all for naught kind of thing. Unfortunately, and the shocking passing of Magneto in front of Professor X's eyes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. And don't forget, like in episode 2, I forgot to mention this. Episode 2, like Jubilee and Sunspot are like teaming up with Cable and Psylocke and Archangel. I forgot to mention that. But back to episode 5, Weapon X lies in DVDs. So Wolverine and Morph recruit former old Hit Squad Team X, Sabretooth, Lady Deathstrike, Maverick, and Garrison Kane. I am not familiar with this Garrison Kane character. Unfortunately. But apparently he was a cyborg created by the Weapon X program. And his appearance wasn't long-lived, unfortunately. But but the team's mission was to find Weapon X facility and assassinate Dr. Cornelius. Their helicopter was pretty much down by mutant birds, and well, just say the Garrison King didn't really live lived long enough to like survive that crash, unfortunately. But we find out that the facility is infested by aliens, alien insects. We've seen these alien insects before, and it's the brood. The same brood we saw from the original season, concerning Rogue's ex-boyfriend. I didn't recognize them at first, but they were like, must be, even though from like the same alien breed, there must be like a different branch of the breed, because um the original separate breed we saw in the original series was more human-like. This other branch of the breed seems more animal to me. And I don't we haven't really seen what's the connection of the two. Uh, I'd like to find out more about that.
Yeah.
And and also we saw Wolverine getting adamantium skeleton back. And we saw a Mega Red. Was like shocking. How did he get there? Last time we saw him, he was like the depths of the ocean. So, how did the weapons facility got the hands of of Omega Red?
Beats me.
There's something more to it, right there. We it hasn't been told.
Yeah.
But this episode, I think, is really action, very fast paced. But it was fine. But I'd really like to know like more of the background of the aliens, like how did they got? Well, they did tell us how they got there, but I feel there's like some more connection to the two branches of the brood, right there, and how Omega Red got to the Weapon X facility after being pretty much stranded in that ship in the depths of the ocean. Uh, Episode 6, Danger EXE. Um, we see Xavier using the danger room, reliving Magneto's death. Um, Miss Cooper and it seems like the danger room is somewhat somehow getting awareness. Then we see Miss Cooper dismissing Polaris from the X Factor due to her controllable nature, I guess you could say, and returns to the Xavier School of Mutants. And then like Xavier makes Storm the headmistress, and they travel to Genosha with Cyclops, Jean, and Beast, where the Danger Room attacks some students, and then goes to Genosha to fight, Professor X, Cyclops, Jean, and Beast. And, Polaris finally regains the control over powers. Bishop was also there to help. And I'm not really sure why that the Danger Room went rogue like that. Wasn't really explained.
I think it was the Daydream probably took her directive or order or whatever and kind of took it to the extreme.
So you think the next Danger Room should have some safe walls, apparently.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen. So this doesn't happen again. Not only that, the U.S. government banned the X-Men, which leads to Professor Xavier pretty much having a team called the X Corp in Genosha, And shockingly, in Athens, we see Apocalypse resurrecting Gambit as one of his horsemen, which was like, oh no, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like very like it was pretty like I would say this episode was pretty much like in your face surprise kind of thing. Same with um episode 4, Rise of Apocalypse 2, Kane the Conqueror. Um with episode 7, Strangeland Savage Heart, we go back to the Savage Land. We have the dinosaurs and stuff like that. Um you know, also I forgot Great and Creed announces his candidacy for president for anti-mutant platform, but he's abducted by Exodus and the acolytes of Magneto. And Nightcrawler, Rogue Beast, and Bishop and Polaris go to the Savage Land in Antarctica, where Colossus, who sadly lost his sister Magic and Genosha, are building a peaceful life for mutants, including his sister Magic, aka Ileana, who is no longer among the living. Um, Now, Nightcrawler, as we all know, is the half brother of Creed. Creed's father's Sabretooth. Rogue's mother is Mystique. Um, in that regard, and they put Exodus and Creed. Exodus put Creed on a trial. See if he's redeemable and stuff like that. Before Colossus could make a decision, Exodus pretty much attacks Creed, and a whole fight breaks out. And Nightcrawler teleports Creed to a frozen wasteland. Um, right after he shoots Exodus, sadly. Um,
He
and
deserved to be teleported there. He
after
needs to
taking
learn.
Exodus out, Exodus out, yeah,
I mean,
pretty much
yeah,
deserve it.
Exorcist was kind of a dick, but
Yeah,
the other dude was even more of a dick.
Exodus. I'm not really familiar with the character. Like, I wish there was a little more of a background with him. Um, but sadly not.
Yeah.
And Colossus returns to to the Xavier's school of learning, um, or school of fur mutants, and then we found out like the X Force finds the Apocalypse corpse, shockingly, and Gambit's playing cards. It was like a total shock at the end of the episode, like just like lift out a cliffhanger right there. Um, it was pretty good. That episode was pretty good. What I did understand, if there okay, we saw this Savage Land. Where in the world is uh where is Sauron? Where was he?
Uh, don't know.
If I remember correctly, let's see, Sauron. Yeah, just Yeah, he reverts permanently back to his human form, um, freeing him from the villainous alter ego, a mutant draining curse, for good. So he's no longer Sauron. He's just normal Sauron. So I'm assuming he's like somewhere living in the Savage Land with the rest of the Savage Land people.
Hmm.
That's disappointing. I'd like to see him like come back, just for shits and giggles, I guess you can say, or just see him coming back. You know, it's like you're not done with me, you're not done with me yet, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I understand. A little bit disappointing with that. Uh, but it was good to see like the Savage Land again after some time. Um, and then the Dead Man's Hand episode 8, the Dead Man's Hand. You know, uh, the X Force propose an alliance with the X Men to find Gambit. Um, Gambit, and attacks the X Men, the X Force, brainwash Nightcrawler, kidnap Rogue. Um, and then Gambit tells the story that Apocalypse fell in love with Kendra, the external person, and gave some of his powers to her, making it external. But she abandons him as for revenge for what she did to her city. It wasn't really tell specifically what he done to her city though. I'd like to find out what. Um, when Gambit and Rogue were, having a wedding ceremony, planning to be married, Gambit summons the external, killing her, giving the powers to Rogue, that jewel that she wore on her neck. Um, and we found out that Gambit's mind has been taken over by Apocalypse, spirit or consciousness. And Gambit can only hold on for so long. And, Gambit escapes, and Cable attempts to, take out Gambit. Uh, and then later, Miss Cooper proposes an alliance between the X-Force and the X-Factor to take out, pretty much accomplish their line goal, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then we get to the last episode 9, Survival of the Fittest, which we just talk about, Beast, Rogue, and Nightcrawler find ship. After we saw the ship in the original series being, pretty much for the last tango from the Apocalypse from the original series, sank in the ocean, was upset Beast, but thankfully was saved by the remote control for the ship. Um, Thankfully enough. Um, uh, and then Rogue goes into this weird. She meets the celestial being called Eson. Eson? Eson? I don't know how you say it. Eson? I don't know how you exactly pronounce it. He removes the external's power from her, the jewel she had on her neck. Um, and Rogue somehow convinces him to give her the power to stop Apocalypse and save Gambit in exchange for her life. X-Force and X-Factor attack X-Corp to attempt to get Gambit's body or just take him out. Well, that's like Cable's mission. Cable, his parents, Jean Grey and Cyclops, convince him not to do it. It fails. Cable's pretty much says, "I'm sorry," shoots Gambit in the head, believing he achieved his destiny. But it unleashes a Apocalypse instead, who transforms Gambit's body into a monstrous form, brainwashes everyone. The X-Men, X-Force, the X-Factor, taunts Professor Xavier for relying on his fellow mutants. And then rogues arrive with her celestial powers to free Gambit and the others, traps Apocalypse spirit or conscious inside a crystal that she gives to Cable, and Rogue is surprised that she is continuing to be alive after the celestial powers subside, until Beast arrives and reveals Nightcrawler's Bible, revealing Nightcrawler is offering his own life to the celestial being at Eson. I don't know how to say it. Eson. I don't know how the correct way to say it. Um, so Rogue and Gambit could be together, and celestial being asked him like, how so? And Nightcrawler said because he has faith. Then shockingly, we see Mystique shooting um, Miss Cooper, assumes her identity, while creating Creed is elected as president. This is, I would say, the last episode for me was fantastic. Well, not fantastic. It was really, really good. I have to say, compared to the first season, well, before that, like, I'm disappointed a little bit because the last season, season one, like, lasted 10 episodes. This season, the season two, lasted like 9. And I hate it when a season ends off at an odd number, in my opinion. But as a season as a whole, I think it's a little bit better than season one, in my opinion. Wouldn't you say so, Trickster?
Yeah, it was more it was more focused on an overarching story, as with
Mm-hmm.
season one, like kind of continuing from like the old show, I guess, and doing different stories throughout every episode.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I no, I'm like, we didn't really see Nightcrawler die. He's just fades in the background. So we're not really sure what is going to happen to him in the next season. But I really hope he does like continue to live. Let's fingers crossed. Hopefully that's the case, but I don't know. Um, it'd be interesting to see um, when season three gets released. Hopefully sometime next year. Hopefully it won't take 2 years, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Krona says rum has evil alcohol. Has Jamie says you think Kronos cheers. Jamie says oh geez. Kronos Hank Polaroid. Where is Deadpool? Well, we kind of did see him a little bit with Morph, a little bit with some other characters like Spider-Man. You also saw like with the Silver Samurai as well.
Yeah,
Kronos says my bad. I haven't seen that movie yet. James says I have. Kronos, no, please no spoilers. I'm really wanting to see it. Jamie says no worries, Kronos. Kronos says worth watching. Jamie says I've seen it. Kronos, I'm always naughty. Jamie, really? Kronos, mostly always. Like robot arms, is Jamie. Kronos, Cyclops is at what level mutant? A mega mutant? Am I correct on that? Trickster?
uh,
Or was
I'm not
that for
sure.
Jean Grey?
It I think it's for Jean
Um,
Grey.
Cyclops. What mutant level is he? He's an alpha level mutant.
Okay, cool.
And Jean Grey, I'm assuming, is a mega level. Yeah, she's a mega level. Okay, so these are the order of the mutant levels. There's Epsilon, mutants with minimal or non-combat abilities. There's Delta, mutants with useful or standard functional abilities. Gamma is mutants with powerful abilities that often come with severe physical disfigurement. Beta is mutants with highly powerful, well-defined, and practical secondary or primary abilities. Alpha, highly powerful mutants capable of major societal disruption or standard um, superhero or supervillain scaling. And then Omega, the pinnacle classification for mutants whose power has no discernible upper limit and cannot be surpassed by any other similar mutant. Uh, so that's like the level classification of mutants. Just to
Yeah.
give you guys an idea, like how powerful Jean Grey is. Well, she is the Phoenix Force and all that. Jamie says, LOL. Kronos, I don't have problems. LOL, Jamie. Cable had time travel. Yep. I missed some movies. Deadpool was a bitch. I mean, Mark of the Mouth, pretty much. Yeah, agreed. I'm not Russian. King was annoying. I thought he was pretty awesome. In this season. Uh, to be honest, I love
Yeah.
GOTG. Gotta go. Thank you for the show. Thank you for being here, Kronos. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think the whole season was pretty much fantastic. I think it was, uh, was a little bit better than the first season. So I'm hoping for for the third season. Sorry, the third season, um, keeps like you know, adding to that hype, um, and stuff. Hopefully, first season was great. Second season's better. I'm hoping the third season is like much better than the second season. That's what I'm hoping for, but that might be asking too much.
Eh.
But I don't really feel since they did the second season a bit better than the first season. I don't really think that's going to be like the result. I think it's going to be a little bit more better, um, from the second. What I assume is that the third season is going to be a little bit more better, um, from the second season, or just be at the same par as the second season.
Yeah, I can see
That's
that.
my assumption. But I guess we won't know for sure. Um, I you know it had this has been announced that the third and fourth season are currently are in development and plan to be released yearly, following the second season. Um, so they pretty much the creators of the show pretty much like confirmed that 2 season. No, not 2 seasons. 2 years was too long of getting to the second season. Which I'm glad they are acknowledging that the second season took too long, um, for everybody. So they're fixing that problem, which I appreciate. But it does take time to animate like an entire season of a TV show.
That is true.
Yeah, you just can't simply rush it. Like, for instance, back in like the original series, we didn't have we still had computers, but not to the scale of what we have today. It took a lot longer back then to reach this season. Um, so yeah, sometimes it did take a lot longer for that to come out. Let's see, X-Men animated series. Let's see here. Came out in 1992 for 5 seasons. Let's see. Uh, it began in 1992. Second season was 1993. Third, 1994. Fourth was 1995, and fifth was 1996. So it was basically back to back. So let's see. The first season was like it began in October 1992 to March of 1993, and then they must have like been. I'm assuming when the first season was like already out, they must have been like working on the second season at the same time. So when the last episode of the first season ends later in October of 1993, that same year, the second season was already out. So there must be like they were pretty much like, okay, this season's like out. We're gonna work on the next season like the first season is like already underway. I'm assuming that might be the case for this sequel, but definitely it was definitely not like that with the for the second season. It took like 2 years, which is kind of bit unheard of for animated TV series. Wouldn't you agree, Trickster?
Yeah. Shouldn't take too long. I mean, if they
No,
keep the trend, it should come out like next year, I guess.
because the first season came out like in 2024 in March, and the last episode was in May, and the second season just came out this past July. It ended on August 12th, so I'm assuming,
Like 2028.
according what I'm looking to the chart here, um, so just for reference, just comparing to like the original series, the second season came out like in October '93, and then ended in February 1994. Of so that's like 5 months. So I'm assuming it will like be released probably 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, probably.
Probably somewhere between that timeline. So I'm assuming it will be like let's see, we're in August right now. Um, either February or I would say between February or April. So like maybe in springtime.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I'm not really sure. I mean, I can find out you know, see there is like a release date for that, but I don't know. It is scheduled to premiere on next year, 2027. Doesn't say when though. Doesn't say when. Doesn't say spring or summer or fall. It doesn't say anything like that. So I'm assuming it has to be like around springtime. If that's the case, like, we don't have to wait too long then.
Yup.
Just have to wait till next year. Which won't be too long, but I quite enjoyed this season. Like, it was pretty much a banger, and first season was also good too. Like, both of them were pretty good in my opinion. Um, and I can't wait to see what happens in season 3. I hope Nightcrawler survives. Please let him survive. Um, and I can't wait to see the further adventures of X-Men. Uh, your final thoughts, Trickster?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next season because this show is pretty damn fun. I like it.
It is pretty damn fun. Not oh, I forgot. Oh, not only that, we're getting a third season. We're also getting a fourth season as well.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that's going to be like 2 years away though. Not next year, but the year before that. So pretty much like in 2028, kind of distant future. So as long as season 3 and season 4 do well, I hope this series keeps on going. Because the original series lasted for 5 seasons, from 1992 to 1997. So I'm hoping, X-Men 97 pushes beyond that barrier. That's what I'm hoping
Yeah.
for. But I'll just have to wait and see if that's the case. But even though it does not last 5 seasons, or it goes beyond that, or if it doesn't last 5 seasons, or hits like the fifth season mark or goes beyond it, either way, to me, it's like a really, really good series. A sequel continuation of X-Men animated series, and I hope this will give like incentive of other animated shows. Like for example, Spider-Man the animated series was pretty much left on a cliffhanger. Can we, complete that? Can we bring that back and, get rid of the cliffhanger from that? Like, where did, Mary Jane go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Um, Snip of James Kyle. Uh, I don't know what you're talking about. But thank you for being here. Yeah, Spider-Man. It was good to see him in the series a little bit too, and stuff. Uh, it was great. Uh, I would like to see more, more Spider-Man interacting with the X-Men, because we do see that in Spider-Man in his own series in 1994, who's also had like 5 seasons. I would love to see, maybe in season 3 we'll see more characters besides, you know uh Archangel, Psylocke, um Widow, Captain America. Well, no, actually, no. I'd like to see more Captain America and Widow uh conversing, talking to the X-Men or getting involved with the X-Men. Same with Spider-Man. I would like to see that happen as well. I would love to like see that in next season, if in season 3, if possible. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought, you know, the scene was pretty much like a 2 thumbs up kind of rating.
Heck yeah. This was really
Definitely.
cool.
Moira, uh, what are your thoughts? Moira?
She gone.
Okay. Well, she did tell me, like, if she's not here, she'll just tell you guys, like,
Sorry.
oh, here she is. Moira?
I hate to say it, but I really don't have a whole lot of thoughts. I
What?
I
Well,
don't know.
I'm guessing you're saying last weekend this and right now was good, right?
It was all right, but I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
seeing them like turn it up a little. I guess I don't know.
Maybe,
I mean,
yeah,
I
maybe
do
a little bit.
like the whole time travel bit. I'm a sucker for that. Dang, Dankers, what? Sorry, the
Taker
cat.
agrees.
I guess so. Hello, handsome boy.
And Pumpkin
Aww.
agrees too. Yeah, yeah. You maybe
What
little
else you got
sweetie.
to say about it, Dankers, huh? Oh, now he's being shy.
Aww.
Silly boy. He's so
So,
cute.
like, yeah, like, this season was pretty good. I can't wait for the third season when it comes out next year. Thank you to everyone who was here this evening. I want to say thank you to Kronos,
Yay.
Lady V, uh, Bricky Keo, thank you for the sub, and Jamie Lynn Simmons. Uh, let's see, I hope I'm not forgetting anyone else. Um, Live Snipo, thank you for being here. I also want to thank you to my panelists, Mora Kitty and Trickster. Thank you so much for being here. It was so fun, um, and all that. Like, hopefully we can do this hopefully soon for the third season coming next year, and all that. Also will be fun too. Hopefully, looking forward to it. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I am gonna get out of here. You guys have a thank you guys so much for being here. You guys have a good rest of your evening, and we'll catch you guys later.
Meow
Bye
meow.
bye.
Meow. Later.
Aw, Dankers meowed as well. Aw.
And Pumpkin says later as well. Later, y'all.
Meow meow.
Meow. If this is your first time being here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RaquelSSG2211. Catch you later.